morning, everybody. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to such a informed, diverse, and attractive audience. I'm having trouble seeing, but I'm sure it is. British Columbia's commitment to zero waste is strong. While there's still too much waste being generated, BC is and has been on the right path. In fact, zero waste is a key part of our solid waste management policy. And we're already seeing improvements across the province through the adoption of zero waste principles. Our government continues to support these principles and alternatives to landfilling solid waste, with a small apology to John Ranta, who some of you might know. Transforming British Columbia to zero waste future cannot be achieved by government alone. It requires the commitment of all British Columbians and Canadians. It's no secret that Canada as a whole generates far too much waste. If we don't lower our waste per capita disposal rate, we could see increased waste disposal costs of up to $120 million per year in British Columbia alone. But here in BC, we are countering that trend with leading waste reduction policies, programs, and practices. And it truly is a collective effort. In 2014, the disposal rate was 520 kilograms per person, down 50 kilograms from 579 kilograms per person in 2010. From small business to larger corporations to local governments of all sizes, we are making change happen. Increasingly, better ways are being discovered to extract materials and value from materials in the waste stream, which create new economic opportunities and jobs. Today, you'll hear about local examples and examples from around the world where change towards zero waste is successfully taking hold. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the province, through extended producer responsibility programs, has taken significant steps towards a zero waste future. EPR is a powerful policy tool for government to support the development and continuation of a circular economy. BC is proud to be a leader in creating industry-led extended producer responsibility programs. British Columbia is currently the North American leader in this area, with 22 EPR programs, many of which I'm sure you're familiar with, including packaging, electronics, household batteries, beverage containers, tires, paint, to name but a few. The province is committed to having industry be responsible for collecting and recycling products and packaging that it puts into the marketplace. Through these programs, we are successfully recycling several thousands of tons of materials diverted from landfills and into new and existing products. BC has also been recognized on a national scale as an EPR leader. Last year, British Columbia received an A from EPR Canada, the highest grade ever awarded. British Columbians should be proud of their contribution to recycling, which helped to recapture valuable resources while avoiding unnecessary landfill costs and minimizing environmental impacts. I'd like to highlight NCorp Pacific's beverage container recycling program, which reached an amazing milestone in 2015 in reaching and recycling over 1 billion containers diverted from BC landfills. That's an incredible number. Yes, indeed. In total, BC's EPR programs divert 335,000 metric tons of materials from landfills annually. This includes the collection and recycling of an estimated 185,000 tons of packaging and printed paper. The financial implications from EPR programs are equally significant. For example, EPR packaging and printed paper has shifted approximately $65 million in costs from local governments and local taxpayers to industry since the program began. Our EPR programs are strongly support government's new climate leadership plan in reducing greenhouse gases. It's estimated that the EPR materials recovered annually achieves a net greenhouse gas reduction of 200,000 tons of carbon dioxide emissions. This is the equivalent of taking 42,000 cars a year off the road. We will continue to make strides to improve these numbers even further. Our climate leadership plan also shows government's commitment to take action in several areas to accelerate progress towards a zero-waste future. For example, the plan calls for an aggressive waste-to-resource strategy, which will help reduce the volume of waste going into landfills and promote the reuse and recycling of waste materials to make new products. An organics diversion target was also set out under the plan, whereby 90% of the province's population would be covered by organic waste disposal restrictions. We've come a long way in a short amount of time when it comes to organics diversion. It was only a few short years ago that just 5% of the population was covered by an organic waste disposal restriction. Since then, several local governments have put strategies in place to include curbside pickup of organics and landfill bans. Today, approximately 66% of British Columbians now live in a regional district with restrictions on organic waste disposal. Organic waste diversion is an area where we've made significant progress in the last few years, and our new target demonstrates our efforts for continued leadership nationally in this area. And as an organic farmer in the Pemberton Valley, this is a particularly interesting and important subject to me, as recycling food waste in my region in the Sea to Sky and putting it back into the food system is incredibly important and one of the biggest challenges that an organic farmer has, especially outside the urban area of British Columbia. The Climate Leadership Plan also includes establishing a target to reduce food waste by 30%. British Columbia is the first province to include food waste prevention as a priority for climate leadership. Reducing food waste from occurring in the first place means less waste requiring disposal and less methane from landfills. This in turn will help achieve BC's target of lowering the provincial waste disposal rate from 350 kilograms per person by 2020, which is still a pretty significant number, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions from waste. BC is already leading the way in helping communities reduce food waste. Recognizing the need for community-based solutions, the Ministry of Environment has published a residential food waste prevention toolkit to assist local governments and community organizations in implementing strategies to reduce food waste. Understanding how much food waste occurs in British Columbian households and in retail, hospitality, and food service sectors is the first step to help inform strategies and enable performance tracking against this target. BC's solid waste management planning process is another good example of encouraging waste-to-resource approach. In BC, regional districts are required to develop plans for management of municipal solid waste and recyclable materials. Solid waste management planning is a proven way to reduce the amount of solid waste requiring disposal in any given region. The ministry produces a guide to solid waste management planning to help regional districts amend or renew plans that meet the region's needs, as well as legislative requirements. The guide reflects ministry expectations with respect to solid waste management plans and desirable outcomes defined by provincial targets and principles. Following a year of stakeholder consultation, the guide was updated in September to reflect the current municipal solid waste landscape. The guide contains a set of guiding principles, one of which encourages regional districts to consider zero waste and circular economy approaches to managing waste. In closing, other provinces continue to look west to British Columbia for leadership when it comes to solid waste. Our innovative programs and successful accomplishments and the accomplishments of local governments here in this room speak for themselves. They come from even the smallest sectors and jurisdictions or from the smallest investments. And the best part are there are so many different people and organizations involved in helping us achieve a zero-waste society and a circular economy. This includes local governments, entrepreneurs, students, nonprofits, and so many more. We have a great opportunity to make a real difference with waste prevention and waste management. Thank you again to those with Metro Vancouver for organizing this event. On behalf of the National Zero Waste Council, the Ministry of Environment certainly supports your efforts and wish you all the best in your pursuits here today. Thank you.